I'm really out of my element. Donk wheels and tractor tires.
What we do in Louisiana is this.
Man, what a...
All right, we are here in the deep south, in Shreveport, Louisiana.
I mean, we're in Louisiana, but that thing raced in the King of the Hammers. Like, look at, there's King of the Hammers clutch right there. We're in Dustin Jones' place, S3 Motorsports. We're here for a slightly different reason, though, this time. I don't know, are you out of your element?
I'm not out of my element.
Okay.
I'm actually very in my element. This is like basically how I grew up, just not with, you know, Can-Ams, but like, this is real redneck stuff.
Okay,
This is good.
I'm really out of my element.
I mean, look, this is way out of your element, Ken.
Yes, and this. I don't know what's going on here. You know, these are apparently going on our vehicle somewhere. I don't normally wear these, but I totally understand. I get this. Don't necessarily get this, but we're here for a really unique vehicle today. Well, let's bring in Dustin. Dustin Jones!
Battle axe!
I am a real American.
Man, it's almost like we know what we're doing, but we don't.
Yes, you do. Jeez, I wouldn't be here if you didn't know what you're doing.
My man.
Dustin Jones, fellow factory Can-Am driver from S3 Powersports. Actually, Monster Energy teammate also.
A little bit of everything. Right?
Yeah.
Wait, turn around. Mullet aficionado.
Oh, yes.
That's what I'm best known for. Long hair, don't care. Hold on. This monstrosity. This is pretty wild.
See, out of my element, very natural.
I ride it home for me. We do a lot of racing, and I'm known for off-road racing, but where I grew up and like what we do in Louisiana is this. The good food, the crawfish, the swamps, the mud.
See, now I'm down for good food.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh, the best.
Swamps, totally foreign.
Oh yeah.
There's stuff that can kill you in these swamps.
That's where it comes alive, is out in the swamp. So down, specifically just around us, when we go riding, we can see anything from bobcats to alligators. There's been situations where we have to shoo the alligators out of water holes so that we can mud ride. We gonna back off with your boat. That's a real story. Where we're going tomorrow is out at Muddy Bottoms Park. They're known to have big alligators in the private lake that they have.
Get next to it for perspective.
You can guarantee we're getting into a sketchy situation when we ride out there.
So gators are the dangerous ones, right?
Yeah. They're aggressive, they're large around here. And then we have a lot of poisonous snakes. Cottonmouths, water moccasins, copperheads, like we got
Wait,
snakes.
the snakes are in the water?
Oh yeah. We've gone riding in these and pulled out of water holes and had a snake in the floorboard of the car with us. Oh, come on, man. Dude, and for us, that's just another weekend riding. God, this episode's over. I'm done, man. I'm giving up.
I have had it with these motherfucking snakes.
What did this start as? I mean, the front end looks like a Defender, so.
It actually started life as a new Can-Am HD10 Defender Pro.
So I have a Defender at home. It does not look anything
Not like this Defender, a little different than this one. And what's special about the Defender Pro versus like the one that you have at your home? The Defender Pro, it's got the largest box out of any side-by-side. And when I say box, I mean like the bed. We wanted the wheelbase so that it does good off-road.
Longer wheelbase, better in swamp.
That's exactly right.
Learning things today.
And so this is kind of what we build here at S3 Powersports and what we're known for.
So it's donk wheels, but with tractor tires.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate donk tractor.
Yeah.
The purpose is as much ground clearance as you can get. So when you go with a huge wheel, you also go with a really tall tire instead of like what you would consider a rubber band tire or a really low profile tire. Yeah. We go with big sidewalls, big lugs, because everything we ride down here is swamps and deep mud.
So I appreciate that. There's an attempt at some real steez here.
This is what you call
complete function.
This is Louisiana swag. You know what I mean? A little style with a lot of grip. It's very crispy.
Yeah, it's a fuel wheel. That's one of my team partners that I have a signature wheel with, and now I'm driving on it tomorrow in the swamp. So we're sitting in here driving.
Yep.
Low gear, high gear.
Staying in low range. It's like a technical driving. It's almost like rock crawling, but you can't see any of the obstacles. Everything is below the water.
So like rock crawling, but you can't see anything.
Perfect.
While some people may discount mud riding, it's like, dude, that's just an old backwoods Louisiana hillbilly thing to do. It's not. It's like feeling the car and driving it off of what you're hearing and what you're feeling versus what you can see. It's drastically different, but it's technical driving.
I can't wait for this.
None of this looks real stock, bro.
It's a lot different. No, and everything's changed. So
well, ground clearance is obviously a big deal. So
the biggest.
It's a combination of suspension and the wheel and tire to try and get the bottom as high as possible.
That's
right?
exactly right. To keep you from high center. And the suspension that we're running is the S3 Powersports 8-inch lift that we build here in-house. And so it makes it a little wider. It makes it quite a bit taller, so you get that independent suspension ground clearance that you want. Because ultimately, when you're mud riding, it's about not getting stuck, and where you most commonly get stuck is high center. So the more ground clearance, the farther you can go.
Tell me a little bit about this setup here in the front, because we have winches on some of my other Can-Ams, but the purpose is slightly different.
Yes, the winch is a crucial part of going riding. We don't build a rig like this without one of our S3 front bumpers and running a big winch on the front. Because you're mud riding, you're gonna have to winch. It's just it's part of the experience.
These are you guys' custom arms, right? Is that correct?
Right. Everything that we built on this car, as far as all the hard parts that is S3, we build in-house. Suspension, full custom one-off cage we did in-house. The full sheet metal interior that we did with the smoothed off dashboard, built-in gauge panel, switches, all the backlighting, the center console, the Can-Am X3 seats, all of this stuff is what we do here in our shop. So it shows up as a stock vehicle, and then we customize everything. It's even got a stereo in it with Bluetooth.
And that's all waterproof?
All of it's waterproof. The big thing about mud riding is how deep can you go?
Yeah.
So the motor and the electronics in this thing will hold up underwater. It will sit and idle underwater. So this is the air intake for the motor that keeps it running. It's also the snorkel for the drive system on the transmission so that the belt doesn't slip. So if this is out of the water, this vehicle will go. And we've put it to the test. So we've had it headrest deep. And until you get that deep, until you get uncomfortable deep, you ain't really mud riding in Louisiana.
Picturing my head up in this roll cage, water to here, like that's a real uncomfortable idea.
It seems silly and ridiculous, but that's literally how we ride. So until you're hiding logos on this one, you didn't really go deep.
All right. Now I see where the bar is set already.
Guys, these are seats out of an X3, aren't they?
That's right. You know, there's a big lifted mud riding rig. We want it to be comfortable. And so we drop the cage down. You're still comfortable. You still got built-in cup holders. Like we have a center console with a phone charger. We don't just build bro off-road vehicles. We actually use the ones that we build. So like a lot of people say this is too nice, man, the paint job's too nice. We built this thing to use it. We just want it to look good whenever you go riding. And so we're gonna beat on this thing tomorrow. And it is built most importantly for function. Form is second. We want it to look cool. We want it to turn people's heads, but function is most important. So it has to go whenever we take it out.
I appreciate that.
But it's all those things that we do to make this a purpose-built rig for mud riding. It's the winch on the front for recovery, because we're going to use that tomorrow. It's this full suspension for the ground clearance like you're talking about. It's the wheels and tires so that it does well in the mud. And it's the wheelbase of the Pro is why we picked this one for you to go riding in your first time.
I mean, this wheelbase is long. It looks like a big size truck wheelbase.
Yes. So we were real strategic on picking this build for you. So like your Defender is the normal one that people go mud riding in. It's got a little shorter wheelbase. Well, when you go a little bit longer in wheelbase than a normal build, that means your front end is coming out of the mud hole by the time your back end drops into their ruts. And so you're getting traction where a normal person would.
So you're setting me up to succeed.
That's exactly right. I'm building one.
I appreciate that.
I'm building one for you that I would want to drive myself. For me, it's the perfect combination for mud riding. It's wheelbase versus weight versus power.
speaking of power, we're not going fast.
No.
So I'd assume torque is probably the most important. See,
That's
see
exactly
what I
right.
did there?
That's exactly right. So they don't go after high horsepower on these. And on this vehicle that we built you, it's 100% showroom stock in terms of
But
performance.
you're giving me a stock car.
Does he look like a
Stock-ish.
Okay.
Stock-ish.
Yeah.
We did some minor tweaks to it.
Took the restrictor plate off, give the Red Dragon a little more juice.
But as far as performance on it, it's all about torque. And that's why we love building these big Defenders, and they do so well. It's got the most torque in the industry for a side-by-side.
What kind of figures are we looking at?
69, baby.
That is a
Bam!
real torque figure.
Yeah, that is true. I'm not making that up. That's a true story. It's 69 foot-pounds.
That's right. Look it up. Look it up in the book.
A shot from the rear.
Yeah, I mean-
it's a nice butt shot.
Woo, she's showing things off, ain't she?
Got some legs.
Look at them legs, boy. Just smooth.
So what's
Look
the
at the shape though too.
Yeah, I know. What's the
That
deal with
shape
these?
is
I mean,
all
when you,
about clearance, right?
This is literally built for maximum clearance. And so not only do we have the suspension that gives the belly pan clearance, we also arch the A-arms so that they get even more clearance. So like when you're running a rut, when you're mud riding, you'll get a really hard edge on the rut. Well, if you get that little bit of arch out of your suspension before it drops down, you clear that hard edge so it will just kind of sweep by.
Wow.
There's a lot that goes into it. That's why I tell you, like a lot of people just consider, oh man, that's just a redneck way to go riding. But it's not. There's a lot of engineering that goes into setting one up correctly to where it can run and perform well.
Well, I think it's pretty redneck.
Beat me on my money. I said, that ain't gonna work.
It's still redneck.
Performance
Yes.
redneck.
Let's be honest, it's
and
still redneck.
smartly done.
Yeah.
So that's what's so cool about it to me. I've been doing redneck stuff since I was a kid. I was just doing it in California. I was doing the California dunes, tracks on dirt bikes, all that.
Your
sort
own
stuff.
version of redneck.
This is just a different tool. So that's why I'm so interested to see this and try it, because I've never done it.
And you've come to the right place. We're going to show you the full experience tomorrow. So the boys that we ride with, our buddies, because we build them ourselves and we work on them ourselves, we get super wild when we go ride.
Good. Well, I'm ready.
check that out. It's coming up next week. Muddy Bottoms. We're taking this. We're sinking it all the way down to the frame.
All the way to the frame. Y'all check it out.
Frame, it's more like to the roof.
Yo, yeah.
The frame.
Apparently I'm being judged on how deep that I can get to these snorkels.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, we are going to make fun of you if you don't have a mud line above the logos.
Okay.
So let's take them home with this beautiful flow.
I'm proud to be an American.
This is why my neck never actually gets red.
I might end up getting cancer back here, but not Dustin.
Hey, this is what you call a beaver paddle. You know what I mean? Bro, this thing will eat. You get it down in a deep hole, and I start shaking my head. Bro, we're moving.
Let's see that tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.